Hello guys, how are you? Cryptex here with sunglasses in the dark. What's up guys? Derek Farmer, will you be live? I'm live right now, Farmer. Sorry I had to change my schedule a couple of times because of a couple of things. One of them, the match between Barcelona and Real Madrid. And then because of my dog, she needed to go out. But we're here now. And as I said, poor old demented Edwin. Yeah, it's something similar to Edwin. Huh? It's really similar. Well, this guy is not a killer. So far, we don't have that information. He was just robbing skeletons, skulls, corpses, but he was not killing anyone. That's why I understand. Mother of Dragons, how are you, Mother of Dragons? Vicarious Vigilante. Vicarious Vigilante. What does it mean that? What does it mean that? Vicarious. What's the significance of vicarious? Don't use that word. Vicarious. Experience it in the imagination through the feelings or actions of another person. Uh, what is that, Peggy? Explain to us. What does it mean, vicarious vigilante? Nice shades. Nice shades. Cheers to you too. Cheers to you, vicarious. So let's play a couple of videos about this guy who was stealing skulls and stealing corpses from some graves in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's crazy. Do you remember the movie The House of the 100 Corpses? That was a film made by Rob Zombie. So it's like we are making a sequel of that movie. Of course, again, this guy is not a killer. We don't know. So far, that's not the case. He was just a thief. He was stealing corpses. So let's play just one video here to have some type of introduction about that situation.
To the families, as the district attorney pointed out, we all have loved ones that passed. Like, rest in peace is rest in peace, and this is definitely something that tears at your heartstring, especially when you see, as he pointed out, an infant having children and grandchildren. Yeah, it was definitely an event.
Okay, a big story tonight. Detectives calling the discovery in Ephrata, quote, a horror movie coming to life. A Lancaster County man has now been arrested in Delaware County accused of stealing skeletons. The Delaware County District Attorney announcing charges against the man you see on a screen here, Jonathan Gerlach from Ephrata. Authorities say he was caught trying to steal corpses from a Philadelphia area cemetery. Thanks for being with us here tonight at 10. I'm Candace Scalise. Some of the remains were reportedly 200 years old. Others belonged to newborns. CBS 21's Maxine Rose is joining us in Ephrata in minutes after speaking with concerned neighbors. But first, we're going to be taking a closer look at the charges filed. Gerlach is facing 26 counts of burglary and criminal trespassing, in addition to abuse of corpse and desecration and theft or sale of venerated objects. Officials holding a press conference today in Philadelphia.
Very simply, detectives walked into a horror movie come to life the other night, guys. This is an unbelievable scene that no one involved, from myself to the detectives to the medical examiners that are now trying to piece together what they are looking at, quite literally. None of them have ever seen anything like this before. When I was 16 years old, a friend of mine was killed in a car accident, and I personally have visited his gravesite, as many people do when they lose a loved one. I know his parents have also visited that site. I cannot imagine what it would put them through to know that someone like this guy had dug up those remains and was doing God knows what with them. It is truly, in the most literal sense of the word, horrific. I grieve for those who are upset by this, who are going through it, who are trying to figure out if it is in fact their loved one or their child, because we found remains that we believe to be months-old infants among those that he had collected. So our hearts go out to every family that is impacted by this. Some of these are hundreds of years old. We are trying to figure out exactly what we are looking at. We quite simply at this juncture are not able to date and identify all of them.
All of that coming out of Delaware County earlier tonight. And moments ago, CBS 21's Maxine Rose spoke to neighbors who say they never expected something like this to happen outside of their door.
Officials have called this a, quote, horror movie come to life. Court documents state that the home behind me is where Jonathan Gerlach brought human remains that were stolen.
It's a big house there. It's a huge house. So the guy seems to have some type of money. If he owns that house, he has money. Or if he rents the house, equally. It's a huge house. I'm interested in knowing if he was living with someone else other than the corpses that were found in that house. Just changing my screen here. So actually the movie by Rob Zombie was House of the 1,000 Corpses. I thought it was House of the 100 Corpses, but anyways, I love Rob Zombie. Her wife, beautiful. She's beautiful. And let me just go here to your comments. Interesting comment from Roy NCV. Jonathan Gerlach is similar to the character in the movie Death and Cremation, 2010. Yeah, let me take a look. Death and Cremation, 2010. Okay, what is this movie about? Something similar? Let me check.
You're getting a job after school, and I don't care what it is.
I get pissed on by everybody in this place.
Crematorium.
Can I help you?
Actually looking for a job. I think you can use my help around here.
I hear that you recently got an after-school job.
I work at a funeral home and cremate dead bodies.
See.
What happened? Kids at school did this to me. His name is David Valentine.
Why did he do that?
They thought I was doing something with his girlfriend.
I think that freak actually kissed me, right?
I hate this camp place.
What did you say the name of that kid was again?
Lindsay Weaver was recently reported missing.
It's pretty scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
As of last night, David Valentine is missing as well.
It seems like a good recommendation on Roy MCV. Can you tell us something about that movie? Yeah, exactly. It seems similar to this case, but again, this guy, the one in Philadelphia, he doesn't seem to be a killer. So let's see. Hey, Fishy, how are you? Happy to have you here. It was really fun yesterday. Of course, both videos were blocked today by YouTube. Just today is weird. This morning they were still available, but at one point they got blocked, globally blocked. Peggy, Vigilante, a person who acts to expose, enforce, or call out wrongdoing outside formal institutions, police, courts, etc. Often driven by a sense of justice. Okay, so vicarious is like some type of activist. So that's how I understand the meaning of the word. This is very common, actually. More common like 100 years ago. What do you mean? People stealing corpses? It's common. I don't know. Let's continue with the news here.
Stolen from cemeteries. While neighbors say the house sits unoccupied tonight, the smell of dead bodies just barely lingers. You could see the houses here are crowded together, but somehow neighbors tell me they had no idea something sinister was happening behind closed doors.
I'm getting goosebumps now, actually, thinking about it.
You know, you don't expect something to be happening right outside.
Well, actually, the neighbors are creepy. Look at these neighbors. They look like extracted from a movie of Rob Zombie. Look at this guy. Oh my God, they're creepy. Seriously. They are more creepy than the guy who was involved in this situation. Actually, this one looks like an actual corpse. No offense, but
Doors.
I'm getting goosebumps now, actually, thinking about it.
You know, you don't expect something to be happening right outside your door like that.
Neighbors on Washington Avenue say they've seen suspect Jonathan Gerlach and a woman walking a dog together around the neighborhood.
I'm like, hey, can I pet your dog? Then we started talking about animals and, you know, just like small, like friendly, you know, conversation.
Ephrata police officers have been here for hours. You can see just one of their cars sitting at the back of this home right here. We also know from the Lancaster County DA that she's received some information. Gerlach may have spent time at a local cemetery, but nothing was found to have been missing at this time. Gerlach is facing 26 counts of burglary and criminal trespassing, in addition to abuse of a corpse and desecration and theft or sale of venerated objects. We do know, of course, this is an ongoing investigation.
so it seems that the guy was stealing some like rings and chains, stuff with value from the corpses. He was also making art with the SKULLS. He was like some type of an artist. He was like a collector as well, of course, a collector of bonds, a collector of SKULLS, and which is really crazy here. He was selling the SKULLS in Instagram. What a crazy thing. Let me go for a while to the chat. So people stealing corpses is a very common. I didn't know that was a common activity, Peggy, but if you say so. There is a house located in Illinois that when the new owners remodeled it, who found part of a corpse. Okay. Yeah, but this guy had hundreds of corpses there. Hundreds of them. It's not the same thing, you know what I mean?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to 21 Next on Friday, January 9th. We're talking about a pretty crazy story, a man who is storing human remains in Ephrata. He has been charged now, and now we know more about him because of a search warrant. So I want to bring in Lily Sexton, who actually went through that search warrant today and can share more details with us. Lily, what did you learn about the case after going through the search warrant, about storage of the remains, the remains? What can you tell us?
So the search warrant really broke down all the evidence that they had against him leading up to when they were able to actually enter his home. And they said that he was going to the cemetery, which he robbed outside, is accused of robbing outside of Philadelphia multiple times. It was not just on one occasion did he steal all these bodies. He was going back. They also described all of the evidence that he was leaving on the scene. They also described.
Look at his nose. He has some type of ring or like what's the name of that? I forgot the name. Anyways, he has that piece of jewelry there. I wonder if it belongs to a corpse he extracted from the cemetery. Just his eyes look kind of, I don't know if he had some type of schizophrenia. I don't think so. Everything seems to be very planified. So anyways, it's scary.
One occasion did he steal all these bodies. He was going back. They also described all of the evidence that he was leaving on the scene at each time. Some of it being DNA evidence like cigarette butts and energy drinks that he left behind. Other times, tools that he left behind that he was
This is a very common way to catch killers or criminals. They leave stuff at the crime site or at the crime scene. In Colombia, we have the killer who killed the hugest amount of people. All of them were children. 400 children were killed by Luis Alfredo Garavito. And the police, they found a bottle of whiskey every time at the crime scene. And that was the way to catch the killer. So this one was living like a Red Bull and this type of energetic drinks at the cemetery. It was not very smart, actually.
Potentially using to break into the cemetery and actually steal things in the grave. They also broke down evidence they had against him in terms of what he was posting on social media. They said that he was like.
I agree with Fishy here. I don't know if I would say stealing the actual corpses is very common. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. Like one in every city. I agree with you. I don't think it's common. No, vicarious. Google funeral home in Colorado that was caught hoarding corpses. Yeah, of course there are cases, but from that to say that it's very common, I don't know, Peggy. I wouldn't say that. Hey, Peggy, you missed the party yesterday, by the way. Ask Fishy about it.
Also selling body parts, according to the document. They found Facebook posts that included people thanking him for the human skin bag that they purchased from him, as well as they also described all of the items that they found, in like hundreds of skulls in a.
I wonder if the people that were buying those SKULLS, they were aware that they were actual human remains. You know what I mean? Because if that's the case, we are almost talking about a ring and not like a business created by only one single person here. If the clients were aware that this guy was dealing with actual corpses, I don't know.
In addition to 2 torsos that he's accused of stealing from that cemetery.
And Lily, you mentioned that some of them were sold, but some of them weren't. Do you know more about that? How specifically those were sold, if they were sold online or how that happened?
They have evidence with his Cash App that he was using his Cash App most likely for the sales and purchases of the body parts. We don't know exactly how much he sold online, but we do
according to the documents at least, think that he wasn't just robbing the graves and keeping everything. He was also turning it into a business and selling some of the items.
Wow.
Imagine selling corpses online, ordering skulls on Amazon.
Yeah, interesting. And so we know that there's no real motive at this time, but I want to bring in Maxine Rose because she dived a little bit deeper today to learn more about Jonathan Gerlach and about.
Yeah, that's crazy, fishy, because we are not talking about the dark web. We know that in the dark web, you can sell and you can buy anything, but he was selling bodies on Instagram. What the fuck? Are you serious?
About what he, what we know about him leading up to this. So Maxine, what can you tell us? I know that you've been in the neighborhood of his Ephrata home where some of these remains were stored. What did you learn?
Yeah, Alex. So I spoke with a person who claims to have been, a close friend of Jonathan Gerlach. He says he hasn't spoken with him in roughly, 5 to 8 years. He says he can't really remember, but he spent a lot of time, especially in his youth, in a band, in his teens.
Look at that house, it's huge. So he was like a rocker. He was a member of a rock or metal band in the past.
Really talking with Jonathan Gerlach between the shows, after the shows, hanging out with him. He says he was a really nice, empathetic guy. He says that he seemed pretty normal for the most part. Yeah, that's him right there. You can see. And that really, he just...
He has big ears. I don't know if that's relevant. Of course not. I'm just kidding. Just thinking, random thought here. You know that people with big ears, they used to have long hair, like to hide or to dissimulate the size of his ears. Just thinking at the same time I'm talking. Big ears, irrelevant comment from Cryptex. Sorry, guys.
Seemed like someone who was like everybody else in the heavy metal community, just just wanting to kind of enjoy life and had deep conversations, but with being in the heavy metal community, this guy did tell me today, sometimes people are interested in oddities or maybe darker types of things. But what's interesting here is that this guy tells me today, like, Jonathan Gerlach never said anything about liking oddities this much. So all of this is really coming as a shock to friends and people who knew him, people who came into passing. We've seen on social media so many people just saying how much this has shocked them, having come into contact with him either while he's walking his dog outside or, knowing someone who worked with him or seeing him with his band performing as a...
I wonder if the guy was like into witchcraft or sorcery, something like that. I don't know, dealing with human remains doesn't look too healthy, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Analyst said, back in early 1800s in Scotland, there were a Burke and a Hoare stole corpses for scientific use and then ended up creating corpses. What do you mean creating corpses? Like Frankenstein? Hey, did you watch the movie Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro in Netflix? It's a great movie. It's a great movie, very artistic. I love Guillermo del Toro. He's kind of underrated. And but anyways, you are making me think about Frankenstein here. Analyze it. What do you mean creating corpses, really? Burke was hanged. Hoare was sent to England and never heard from again. Yeah, but this is kind of explainable. They were using... yeah, if you are into medicine at the time, yeah, you didn't have a lot of material to work on, so you were stealing corpses too. to do your investigations, but this case of this guy from Pennsylvania looks like more sinister. Peggy, there's a market for it. It's as disgusting as it is. Yeah, but I don't know if his clients knew that the corpses were real. You know what I mean? I have some decoration or some art here, but I can see that it's not an actual skull. It's wood. It's a skull with some earphones. It's cool. So, but if people knew already that they were actual corpses, that's crazy. I did a couple of live streams on this. Ah, really? Okay. Share the link. Share the link, Peggy, please. Ah, really? The captain? Okay. Interesting. The infamous Captain Howdy. Captain Howdy. Howdy. And as I said, allegedly, there has been a strong market for bones and body parts from countries outside the United States. And what is going to be the objective of that type of business? Why would you buy some bones or some human remains? You have to be like into witchcraft or Satanism. I don't see any other explanation. If you know that you are actually buying actual human remains, it's because either you have a morbid obsession with death, or you are into Satanism. I don't know. Can you please provide your ideas? I mean today, 2025, why someone would buy human remains? I can't think about Satanism. I cannot think about anything else. He's very sadistic, that's for sure. Anna, creating corpses equal murder. What do you mean? Ah, they were killing people? I'm not sure if I understand your comment, Annalisette. Okay, let's continue here with this guy.
Lyricist and vocalist for his band in this area and also the Williamsport area.
And so I know, Maxine, that you were also there yesterday and you were back in Ephrata today. Have you?
I also know that in the death metal scenario, they deal with a lot of bones. I remember there was a very famous death metal band called Mayhem from Norway. I think it was the most important band of death metal. Not because they were really good, because they were not that good, but they were like the first. And one of the guys, he killed himself with a rifle, like Kurt Cobain, let's say. And the other member of the band, he took parts of the bones that were like disseminated everywhere in that chamber, let's say, and he sent he sent the bones to different death metal bands everywhere. One of them in Colombia. So yeah, they're dealing with that type of stuff in the death metal scenario. Some people like to collect and display human skulls. Why? Yeah, and again, I can't think about Satanism. Why do you think they like to collect and display? Art, morbid art? I don't know.
You noticed law enforcement there, or crime scene units there, anybody there who's been investigating, looking into this home at all? Have you seen anything that you can share with people?
What I can share, yes, is that there have been police here, just like we saw last night, and I mentioned at the end of my story last night, is that you can see that there was a police officer that well, you can't see it now, but there was a kind of white car off to the side there. That was there for hours yesterday. And there, like you can see the top of it right there. That was it just sitting in the corner. They're kind of blocking where that garage was, and where witnesses had told me they had seen investigators initially just come right in and start taking boxes out. You could see in one of those frames there, they kind of hit it with that white sheet, but we did get a second. There it is, a few boxes stacked.
A few boxes, a lot of boxes. Did you see that? Oh my God, a lot of boxes. I don't think this is a single house. It's impossible, no. It's a huge house. It's like a building with what, triplex, something like that. I don't know. If this guy had this house just for himself, I don't know. It's like special. It's huge.
Right up. And from our understanding, you know, they're continuing to take evidence out of that home.
And from your understanding, I'm not sure if you know this, where is Jonathan Gerlach now? Do we know?
Well, he does have a $1 million bond, I do believe. So
I find excessive $1 million for this type of crime. Seriously, it's too much. Actual murderers, actual killers, kidnappers, they don't have that type of number. You know what I mean? $1 million. I know this is disgusting. This is creepy. This is weird, but I think it's too much. $1 million. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too naive here.
He is currently in, I believe, the Lancaster County.
I know, Horace Fishy. It was really fun. It worth it. It was super fun yesterday.
Prison. You know, either way, he is not out and about at this point. You know, witnesses, neighbors here tell me they saw him get escorted out earlier this week of this home here. We are also under the impression that he was living with someone else. We have not seen that person. We have not heard from that person. We have not seen whether there are even any charges against this person. But of course, there's.
I wonder who was the other person. Brujeria. Brujeria, exactly. Sorcery, right? Sorcery. Witchcraft. Yeah, do you remember that band? It's not Brujeria. What's the name of that band? They were from the 19th, a grunge band. Santeria. Santeria, super cool. Sublime. The song was Santeria. Yeah, could be like voodoo, Santeria, Brujeria, witchcraft, Satanism. I don't know. And I said, how much money was this guy making? Maybe the bail reflect his wealth. A good point. He can probably post 10%. 10%. Do you think so? I don't know. It looks to me that selling this type of stuff in Instagram, you're not gonna make that huge amount of money, but maybe yes. And maybe he was not selling only in Instagram. Maybe he was also in the dark web. Who knows? I'm curious about his partner. Was a friend, a girlfriend, who was living with him there? Because of course, the person who was living with him, he knew about the corpses. And I don't know. Even necrophilia could be in that situation. I don't know. Big Fishy. I gotta make dinner. Okay, great show. I'll be back. I don't know if I'm gonna be here for a while, but thank you, Fishy, for showing up and for showing your support as usual. Yeah, I love that song too. I love that song. I forgot it again. What was the name? Santeria. Santeria is from Cuba. Santeria is like the witchcraft of Cuba. I know that Peggy, she has a great musical taste. We are from the 90s. Mustang, how are you, Mustang? How are you? When are you gonna change your avatar, man? Come on. I'm just kidding. Let's finish this.
So much more to this story, Alex, that we are not, privy to just yet. And hopefully as this develops, we'll be able to learn more.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Maxine. And if you guys want to see more about what this story has developed over the course of the past 2 days, be sure to tune in tonight on CBS 21 at 5, 5:30, and 6. Maxine and Lily will be breaking down more details about what they found out today. And thank you so much for joining 21 Next. We will see you tomorrow and next week.
I'm also curious about how was he doing that activity, stealing the corpses. For sure, he was in the cemeteries, in the graves during the night, maybe abandoned cemeteries. I don't know. I don't know, because to have 100 corpses, more than 100 human remains at home, he was doing this since years ago, huh? Years ago. Okay. What's his name again? Jonathan Gerlach. Let's see here.
And tonight, we're also learning more about the man who was at the center of this case, a man his friends say was just a normal guy. CBS 21's Maxine Rose continues our team coverage and joins us live in Ephrata. Maxine, what did they tell you?
Alex, today I spoke with a man named Trevor Poole. He spoke with me over video call today from his home in Williamsport. But of course, we are outside the home right now where investigators have been searching through for the past couple days here. What we know from Trevor Poole is that he was a former friend of Jonathan Gerlach, and he says he met him through the music scene.
Good people can do bad things.
The more than 550 charges filed.
That's a great sentence. Good people could make bad things. That's a great sentence. And I said, imagine the confusion and discussion if human bones bought from a guy like this were left at the Delphi crime scene. Maybe in a design that looked like runes. Yeah, interesting thought. Vicarious, I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal balls. It's a great song. A great song, Santeria. He probably stole all the jewelry people were buried with and other possessions. Yeah, for sure. He was doing that also. But he was making art. So maybe it was like a multifaceted business. He used the SKULLS to make art. He kept the rings, the chains to make money. It's crazy, huh? And I said, like the old saying, waste not, want not. Peggy, he kind of looks like the guy that eats in the Captain Howdy video, but I think he's too young to be the same guy. I have to check again that video from the infamous Captain Howdy. Now I'm curious, guys. I'm sure it's a great video. He was great in making videos, of course.
Filed against Jonathan Gerlach is not adding up for former friends like Trevor Poole.
My reaction is it seems like something like psychosis of some sort. I just wonder.
No, it's not psychosis. This is a business that is very well established. The preparation, the planning, the planification. It's not psychosis. It's not erratic. You know what I mean? So I don't buy that. I think that the guy is transparent here, his friend, but psychosis is not the case. No way.
What I guess would say triggered him.
Poole says he met Jonathan Gerlach around 2010 while playing at shows with his band called My Hearts of Fear. Poole says Gerlach also joined a band called Road to Milestone as a lyricist and vocalist, and both of their bands would often play at shows together until around 2018.
John was like one of my closer friends that I would hang out with, have brewskis with, and chop it up with outside of the shows. It would always just be him and I talking about, our beliefs, and he's a very empathetic guy. Like, he was always a good dude.
For someone in the heavy metal community, having an interest in oddities doesn't exactly come as a shock, Poole says. But Poole also says Gerlach never even mentioned being into it at the time.
Honestly, like he was very to himself. As far as like social media goes, it seemed like he kept it pretty minimal.
His Instagram page confirmed by documents for a search warrant. It says, quote, "The 533 accounts and pages Gerlach is following revealed an abundance of accounts referencing skeleton collections, corpses, taxidermy, human skull store, oddities, and bone museums." But another alleged Instagram page of his shows more.
I think it was just kind of, it blended in. I guess my overall take generally is I never, ever would have expected him to do something like this.
And that is just a little bit of what we know so far about Jonathan Gerlach. But of course, we are actively working to find out more about those who may have known him recently, more recently, I should say. And officials have been releasing information every single day. We are staying on top of this, and we'll give you the latest as it comes.
Crazy stuff. Derek Farmer is in the house. How are you, Farmer? Nice to have you here. Good show yesterday, man. Good show. And I said, in the end, this guy will probably get minor charges like theft, desecrating corpses, and trespassing. Probably a big fine and a few years probation. I think so. That's why I think that $1 million bond is like excessive, but yeah. And I said, my family has always been cremated. When my grandmother died young in 1928, progressive governments were building roads through cemeteries. So burials were never trusted in my family. I can see why. I think a lot about that. If I want to be cremated, I don't know. Maybe that's gonna be the case. Purple Amaryllis. Who was selling it? Was he selling it all or keeping it for himself? That's a good question, because if they found 100 corpses, maybe he was using some corpses for, I don't know, again, witchcraft, Satanism, I don't know. It's a good question. For sure, he had a morbid obsession with death. For sure. And he was making money in that special business. It's just crazy. Huh? No worries, Farmer. It was good. It was great. And I said, Ed Gein was just mentally ill. He dug up corpses and killed a couple people, if he is considered a terrible ghoul. He's the subject of the movie Psycho. Apparently, this modern guy is not mentally ill. Maybe he has, of course, he has something bizarre in his brain, but again, we cannot compare him with Ed Gein because he's not a killer. My opinion is, yeah, there are some similarities, but it's not the same thing. It's most like a collector, like a dealer, let's say, and not a killer. You know what I mean? By the way, I don't know. I didn't like the movie in Netflix. I was not too much into it, like attracted to the movie. Maybe I was expecting more. But now they are doing a new series about The clown killer, what's the name again? I forgot his name. John Wayne Gacy. The pilot is awesome. I think it was in HBO. I don't know. That one is gonna be great. Awesome, awesome. But the one about Ed Gein, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Maybe I was expecting too much about that movie, but anyways, it is what it is. Peggy, I feel really bad for all the families impacted by this. Yeah, for sure. It's disgusting. Anyways. Allegedly selling bones and parts on Instagram. Yeah, and not allegedly. Allegedly, he was doing that. Mustang is saying hello to Mother of Dragons and to Farmer. Farmer, wonder if they will tie Fox Island and Gosh in Iowa with Gacy. I don't know. Why do you say that, Farmer? I don't have that information working properly in my mind right now.
Reporting in Lancaster County, I'm Maxine Rose, CBS 21 News.
But a horror movie come to life, that's how detectives describe this Lancaster County home. And just today, authorities removed some disturbing discoveries. A man named Jonathan Gerlach is being charged after more than 100 stolen skeletons were found here. We have team coverage on this story today with CBS 21's Lily Sexton piecing through the search warrant and Maxine Rose speaking to a former friend.
This girl, Maxine Rose, when she answers some specific question from the journalist, she gives very bright answers. I like the way this journalist or this reporter talks. I saw a couple of clips this morning, and she's not like prepared. It's like very right away answering. I like the way she talks. I don't know, just saying that. Another irrelevant comment from Cryptex here.
Who is shedding light on the suspect's past. It's 5:30. I'm Alex Thill. And we're now learning Gerlach was allegedly selling some of those human remains. So let's get right into it. Lily, what evidence did police have against him before this arrest?
They had been collecting evidence against him for a while now. They were able to get physical DNA evidence from the scene of where the graves were robbed. They also were able to collect information from his social.
Look at the amount of boxes here. Oh my God, it's crazy. How many boxes? Huh? How many corpses? It's crazy. Anna. Fishy, sorry. I'm back. My kid's dad actually fed her before bringing her back. Okay. I'm shocked. This is the comment of the night. Fishy, you are so fine. You are so elegant. Oh my God. We have to learn from Fishy. Great comment. Anna, I made an Instagram account. First time I tried to log in, I was blocked for suspicious activity. I am glad they keep scum like me off their platform. Oh guys, you are hilarious tonight. You are so funny. Fishy and Anna, you should do like a stand-up comedy together. Great comment. You're killing me, Anna. Oh my God. Oh my God. So funny. Oh, guys, you're crazy, guys. Sorry, I have to recover. It's so funny. Holy shit. I cannot stop. Oh, best comment ever. So funny. Sorry, guys. I cannot control myself right now. That was awesome, Anna. Her lighting is on. You're so funny. Okay, farmer. Fox Island. I cannot. What? Cryptex, calm down, control yourself, man. So unprofessional, guys. So unprofessional. This is what you get when you come to Cryptex streamings. Calm down, focus. Continue. Fox Island. I cannot. Fuck. Oh, come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Oh shit. I'm gonna play the video just to try to calm myself. Oh God. You're killing me, guys, tonight.
Media where he's being tagged in people speaking about buying and selling these human remains from him. They also said that Lancaster police got a tip. This was all explained in the search warrant. They received a tip from someone that remained anonymous saying that a family friend that she heard through the grapevine that there is a hanging human corpse in his basement, and that did end up being true after they were able to execute this search warrant.
Wow. And Maxine, speaking of those friends, I know you were able to talk to someone who says they knew Gerlach. Does his friend say he was like this before all of this happened, or that there was any indication something like this would happen?
Yeah, so just to be clear too, I mean, this friend was not mentioned at all in the search warrant. Although I do know that there were some names in that search warrant. We reached out to those people and did not hear back. But as for this former friend, he says that there was no indication that he had even any interest in oddities or collecting these sorts of things, at least to this extent, right? He explains that he was kind of into this kind of scene, but never, again, really showed interest in doing something like this.
Okay, I got it together now. So sorry, guys, for my lapsus here. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, farmer. But what would be the relationship between that and this guy? I don't see it, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? And as I said, farmer, there's a soft white underbelly video featuring a guy who believes he evaded Gacy when he was a kid. It's really educational, and there's a lot to think about. Yeah, I agree. Rumor is Gacy built the private runway. Oh, really? I didn't know. I didn't know. Fishy, Farmer and Cryptex together again. Sure. We have to do some lives together again. Past is in the past. And I said, I wonder if they will have to DNA test all the body parts so remains can be returned to families. Yeah, good point. I don't know if, I guess that some DNA will be still useful, right? But, there are corpses like with more than 200 years old. So are they really going to be interested in testing every single corpse? Maybe the more recent corpses, but I don't think the old corpses are going to be tested. And I don't know if they're going to be able to trace all the bodies that were sent, or all the human remains that were sold by this guy. It's going to be hard. This is a situation that is happening since a lot of years ago. So I don't know. Who knows? Gacy's role in Johnny Gosch abuse ring out of Iowa. Yeah, you have to tell me more about John Wayne Gacy. I know the basics, but Not really more than that. Mustang still here, piecing people with his or her avatar. Great. It's provocation. And as I said, I think Gacy favored young teens. The Gosh case and others in Des Moines were done by others. Yeah. This one is wild. It is wild. See today. What's up, gang? What's up? How are you? Yeah, what's wrong with people? It's crazy, huh? Crazy, crazy. I wondered if Gacy would have done what he did if being gay was accepted and legal at the time. It's a good question. It's a great question. Maybe they were like, yeah, they were not free to, yeah, to have relationships with other men, and it was some type of morbid way to, yeah, to deal with that repression, let's say. And as we can say that we can say the same about Jeffrey Dahmer, but anyways, it's just crazy and unacceptable. Some of Gacy's cohorts were found in a Rolodex in Chicago being managed by the guy who supposedly brought Gosh to his mom in Iowa. Okay. Hey, another horror film here. So we have The House of the Thousand Corpses by Rob Zombie. We have the one about cremation that was recommended by some of you guys at the beginning of the show. And now See Today reminds me of the D. Snyder. Of the D. Snyder. I don't know that film. Okay. I take note about your recommendation, guys. Thank you for that. Farmer, being gay doesn't cause someone to be a killer. No, but it could be not being gay, but the repression. You know what I mean? Not being able to be gay at the time because it was like, I wouldn't say a crime. What was the word that Anna used? Illegal. Not because it was illegal, but if you were not free, of course you are right, Farmer. Of course you're right, but I get the point Anna is trying to make. You know what I mean? Peggy, how do they not know which graves were dug up? Wouldn't they see dirt versus grass? Of course, that's why I think one of the cemeteries was already abandoned. So maybe there were no people like taking care of that. Maybe a cemetery with all the corpses only that was not like in function anymore. So one of them, I can understand that, but yeah, the normal cemeteries, oh, you're gonna be able to detect that activity there for sure. Farmer, it's like saying if priests could marry, maybe they wouldn't molest. But maybe, no, maybe that's the way to release their urgencies. I wouldn't discard that. I know what you're saying, Farmer, and I agree with you in part, but where you are not able to release your urgencies because it's illegal or you cannot, you're gonna find other ways to do it. I don't know. There's a lot of psychology there, but anyways, you're a killer or not, of course, but there are motives and motivations behind that, and a lot of different motives. So I'm not saying that this is a general rule, but I get the point that Anna is trying to make. Hiwata, Gonna have to replay. Haven't heard anything today about it. Well, half of the streaming is me laughing. Sorry for that. I was laughing like for 5 minutes nonstop. Thanks to Anna and thanks to Fishy. Crazy guys. But that's part of the fun here. You would think this would be all over the news, but no. We are arguing about eyes. But I think the eyes situation is more important than this case. Actually, I what? But anyways, Fishy. I'm gonna hang out with my kiddo. Thank you. Have fun, Fishy. Say hello. Farmer wants to rock. You always rock. And I said, Dahmer's big problem was his fear of being abandoned. I think Gacy's issue was getting caught. He did some time in prison for being gay and maybe for making advances on a young kid. Yeah, I think, of course, there are two very different cases. Dahmer was like more disturbed. He was not a normal person. And Gacy, he was not a normal person either, but he was fitting like in the society, you know what I mean? He was trying, he was like the typical serial killer. But Dahmer, he was another type of killer. I don't think he was evil. You know what I mean? He was really, he had some problem in his brain, in terms of in the psychological way. You know what I mean? Something was not functioning properly. He was not fitting in the society. He was like disconnected. I know that we cannot compare, or we can compare, but we cannot justify anything. But if I would justify the actions of one versus another one, I think that Dahmer was, no, I'm not gonna go there, but anyways, thinking at the same time, I'm talking here, guys. Piopledo. Who is Piopledo? Hiawatha. That Gacy Josh connection is something to investigate. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we should. An indicted co-conspirator. Greetings, Vicarious Vigilante. Most of the time, at the burial and at the exhumation, the turf grass layer is out and rolled up. Yeah. Good point. Good point. This Snyder film is called Strangeland, 1998. Okay. We're gonna take a look about that. We're gonna take a look about it. That's unnatural to me. Everyone should have sex. I agree with you. Is yeah, the founders like Alexander Hamilton. Vicarious, you repress anything and put it in a box. You shouldn't be surprised if it grows nasty and twisted. Awesome comment, guys. This is the night of the greatest comments ever in my show. Great comment. Let's read it again. You repress anything and put it in a box. You shouldn't be surprised if it grows nasty and twisted. What a beautiful comment. It's like poetry for real. I love it. I love it. And I agree with you. It makes total sense. I love it. Purple Amaryllis. I'm not sure which is more horrific. Someone doing this or people wanting to buy it. Yeah, but again, people buying that stuff, all of them, they knew that there were actual human remains. I don't know. Derek the Finders. Yes. Well, Illinois was way ahead of the curve by decriminalizing gay sex act in 1962. Decades ahead of other states. Great date. Great date. Yeah, it was an awesome comment. My therapist told me that 30 years ago. Wow. I understand why it remained in your mind. It's a great statement.
And Maxine, how does that friend feel now knowing what's coming out about him?
I did ask him that question. You know, he speaks really highly of him, at least when he was friends with him years ago. He said that he just, you know, good people can do bad things. And that really stuck with me because it's interesting. You know, I think everybody is trying to just wrap their heads around the situation.
I love the way this girl talks. I don't know why. I like the way she talks. Her thoughts, I mean.
And knowing him at an earlier stage when maybe they were closer with him or got along with him, it's just interesting to see the way things have, in a way, changed now. But you know, they're still trying to see the good in him.
Absolutely. I want to bring it back to Lily really quick. Lily, how long did this investigation last? When did it start? Do you know those answers?
It first started early November. That's when he's accused of robbing the gravesite for the first time. And since then, he has returned multiple times, or he's accused of returning multiple times to rob even more graves at this historic cemetery, each time leaving behind tools and sometimes leaving behind DNA evidence. So police have been collecting evidence and building a case against him for a matter of months now, since early November.
Wow, interesting stuff there, Lily. And I just quickly want to go back to Maxine before we move on. Have you also been able to parse through his social media pages, Jonathan Gerlach's? What do we know there?
Yeah, so in that search warrant that Lily is talking about there are a few accounts that are mentioned, Facebook, Instagram accounts. So we know that he had some personal accounts there, but we also know that there is another account people have sent to us that allegedly belonged to him that had multiple pictures of skulls and bones on it that he seemed to have been either buying or selling, something of that sort. So we'll talk a little bit more about Trevor, the friend's reaction to all of that next at 6.
Oh, well, thank you both, Lily and
Yeah, maybe he was not only a seller, he was also buying. There's most, it looks like some type of trading there, you know what I mean? Like a trading situation. I don't know. Let's see this week if we have, we're gonna have more information about this guy. For sure, I'm very curious about this. I was feeling like a Sunday blue today. I feel that every single Sunday, like that type of melancholy when the weekend is ending. But with your comments, guy, today, it's over. I released a lot of, I wouldn't say stress, but it was so funny, guys. You made me laugh today a lot. Analyset, I blame the buyers more than the seller. Ah, yeah, okay. Yeah, I agree. Good point. Purple amaryllis. What do you mean purple amaryllis? Purple is purple, amaryllis. It's like a rock. It's a flower. It's a flower. So, okay, got it. Do you like flowers? Tell me about your avatar's name. I'm interested. Vicarious Vigilante, economics. What do you mean, economics? Good people can do bad things, of course, every time, every time, every time. Dirk Farmer, it's like the party store need a penny, take a penny. Sounds like he has some making up to do. He could start by donating himself. Yeah. Analyset, historic cemetery. Sounds like a place that is not protected, yeah, and it's not regularly visited. That's what I was saying. Maybe it's just kind of abandoned, you know what I mean? Yeah, cemeteries like that are regularly vandalized by thugs, yeah, 100%. Michelle is here. he had body parts posed in his house. Yeah, he was some type of like an artist. So I don't know if he was doing that to, I don't know, make some statues. It looks like the TV show Hannibal, you know, that artistic stuff when posing the bodies. I don't know. I hope we're gonna have more information about this guy because I don't know, it's very interesting. The story made me think of David McCain. Yeah, why? Why do you think about McCain? Tell me about it. This piece of shit is a waste of oxygen. Yeah, why? Exactly. A flower, okay. A beautiful flower, yeah. I just saw it in the internet. The flower is so cool to grow. It's the fastest growing flower I ever seen. Really? Okay. Artist, never mind, all good. I'm not saying that's the explanation. I'm just trying to see what elements or factors could be there. Could be there. It's too early to have any type of conclusion here. Michelle, Dave McCain said that he and his brother had a collection of dead animals posed in their house when growing up. It's like the house of the clients with those deers. It was creepy, yeah. In my opinion, it was creepy. But there were a lot of hunters here in the channel saying that, no, it's a normal house for hunters. To me, it was like freaking creepy. The client's house with those horrible picture. Strange happenings already this year. I feel some weird ass energy around that name from Delphi. The McCain, you mean? Purple amaryllis. It's a flower. Spelled wrong, but I picked it after a book titled Amaryllis Night and Days. Sorry, Amaryllis Night and Days by Russell Hallman. Okay, interesting. Farmer. Me and Crip did a broadcast on that weird ass Klein photo. Yeah, remember that picture, Farmer? Similar to The Shine with the movie from Stanley Kubrick. That, yeah, it was, I remember now when we were talking about that. It's just freaking creepy. I suppose, imagine if you feel that creepiness looking at the picture of the clients in his house. But imagine inside the house of this guy in Philadelphia. Holy shit. I suppose morally there should be more difference between this disgusting thing and robbing a grave for medical schools. Yeah. Roy NCV, Jonathan Gerlach and Jared from the movie Death and Cremation, they both worked with the dead. Okay. Yeah, tell us about the book. Yeah, The Shining, exactly. When the blood comes out of the elevator. Yeah. What a picture, huh? If Amy G is correct about the sticks at Delphi being used to post the bodies, that is something that would be done by amateur taxidermists. Interesting. But I'm not sure if that's the case. I'm not sure if that's the case. An interesting theory. I'm not going to say it's not interesting, but no. To me, there were actual symbols, but I don't see it as a functional element to pose or to stage the crime. It's not a functional element. To me, it's mostly some type of a symbol, in my opinion. It is a freaky book. It's a freaky book, but not as freaky as The Mouse and His Child. Okay, we're gonna take a look. Unindicted. Personally, my body is going to a medical school and being returned as cremains. Okay, guys, I think it's gonna be all for tonight. Thank you for being with me. Please hit the like. We were not a lot of people tonight, but we were VIP people tonight here. Just gonna play with my dog a little bit before starting the week tomorrow. She's gonna be kind of alone, so I need to give her a little bit of quality time, guys. I hope you're gonna have an excellent week. Let's follow the news about this case. I'm sure we're gonna learn more about this guy Jonathan, and let's see. You two have a great night. Unindicted, Farmer. Excellent to hear you live. Thank you, Farmer. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you, Amarilis. Thank you, Fishy. Thank you, all of you guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.